Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Diana Stepner, a seasoned product leadership coach, speaker, and founder of Diana Stepner Coaching and Advising. With a people-first approach focused on unlocking product leaders' full potential and building resilient, innovative teams. Diana, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you. I appreciate the introduction. Looking forward to chatting with you.
I am excited to dive in. I always like to start from the beginning. So take me back to before you started your coaching company. What were you doing beforehand? And then what was really the motivation behind starting the company?
Yeah, so I was in product leadership for over 20 years. I led product teams around the globe. And I just found that people kept reaching out to me for advice and guidance. Some were folks that I had worked with previously, some were folks across the business universe who our paths had somehow intertwined. And they just said that I was one of the only people who cared, who
Mm,
listened, who respected them as people, who really tried to help them be better, get to where
mm.
they wanted to go, flex those muscles that they had. And I just kept hearing that. And I was wondering, it seemed weird to me because don't all leaders coach their teams in some capacity? And the more I heard it, it became clear that no, that wasn't the case. A lot of leaders don't consider their teams, just treat them as just do what I tell you and move on. And that wasn't my style. And when I worked at a couple companies and was just, this isn't for me, I just started thinking about what do I want to do? And leaned into what are my passions? What is the feedback I've received? What is areas of growth that I want to have? What are things that motivate me?
Yeah,
And that led me to try, I guess, coaching. But I don't try is always a weird word because I've been doing it for so long, but
yeah,
try it as my main gig.
yeah. How long ago was that?
That was 2 years ago.
Okay, nice. All right, let's dive into what it looks like today to give the listeners a little bit more context.
Yeah, today I'll take a week. So like a normal week, I advise a couple startups. I work in a fractional product role and I do coaching.
Okay.
And so I have that gig mentality that
Yeah.
seems to be more common nowadays. And so I will spend some time with the startups that I'm advising, giving advice and guidance on the product front, what they're building. I will, in my fractional role, work on the product development of the areas of opportunity that we're exploring. It has a nice overlap with coaching. So I also do coaching in my fractional product role. And then throughout the week, I have coaching clients that I'm working with. And I wrote a book with two other people. So there's often elements related to the book that are woven in too.
Okay, very cool. Walk me through who would you say is your ideal client? What does that look like?
My ideal client is a product person and someone who is in a product role looking for advancement that may be increasing their influence, that may be getting to the next level, that may be just working more effectively with their manager or team or just with their stakeholders. And that would be my, I guess, the core of who I coach, but also because product people tend to interact with so many other types of people. I also coach folks who work with product people and
Mm,
are trying to get more understanding about how do they work more effectively with product. And I think with AI, all roles are some way, shape, or form blurring a bit. And so designers are trying to get a better understanding of product, engineers are trying to get a better understanding of product. So I also have some folks who are thinking of how to pick up product skills
mm.
to advance their careers too.
Okay, got it. So somebody that is in the realm of developing the product in some way, shape, or form.
That's good.
Walk me through, you mentioned fractional work, advising, there's also the coaching clients that you work with. What would you say is the main driver of revenue in the business?
Main driver of revenue. I would almost break it down between short, medium, and long term.
Okay.
And what I mean is from the companies that I advise. Often they'll give me some type of stake in the company. They're early stage, so who knows how that's going to play out.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we all hope that things go amazingly well, but we won't know for a bit. And so that's more long term. In the fractional work I do, that is a little bit short term, a little bit medium term. It also is a small company. So hoping that it grows and develops as well. And then my coaching clients, they pay me based on our engagements. They're typically 3 to 6 months. And so that is something that I get paid or the revenue gets recognized in a shorter time frame.
Nice. And that's one-on-one?
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
I do
very
one-on-one.
cool. So it sounds like the fractional work is also equity. Is that the case as well?
It, right now it is money, but it's money to be able to help the business grow. So some of my time is paid for, but some of my time is also, I'm going to say sweat equity to be
Fair.
able to help the company grow.
Okay, got it. When I'm curious, when you think of where you want to take this company now that you're 2 years in and
Yeah.
what the future looks like, are you looking to do more advisory stuff, more fractional stuff, more coaching clients? What's the thought process there?
I like the mix, to be honest. I'm a product person. We're always working across 14 different things with all these different type of stakeholders. So I think for me, it fits with how I've worked over my product career. And I like having the flexibility. I like being able to help contribute to a lot of different companies, activities, etc. And it may sound funny, but I actually like context switching. It
Mm,
it helps me think differently, see things in a new way. So I
yeah,
like having that diversity in my day too.
that's cool. Makes things more interesting.
Yeah. And as a product leader, you tend to go from call to call, meeting to meeting. And so I'm used to that.
Yeah,
And so I think for me, it fits.
there you go. Let's shift a little bit to the back end of the business. When it comes to customer and client acquisition, so when you're looking to bring on more coaching clients or more fractional work or advisory work, what are you currently doing from a lead gen and marketing standpoint?
Yeah, so I write. It's how I think a lot of times. I like to be able to put things down on digital paper. So I have a Substack, and so I write on people first leadership. And that really helps me embrace some of the books I'm reading because I can then take that insight that I've learned and put it into words that I can then share. And I use that to also formulate posts and things like that. I do a newsletter that then carries through to LinkedIn. So all of it often stems around my writing. The writing stems off of my work experiences because that'll often cause me to go down a rabbit hole and want to be able to learn and explore something. And then once I learn and explore something, I want to be able to give back. And so I'll write about it and share it.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. And I forget there was a name to this, but basically the idea is you learn something so much faster if you try to teach it to somebody.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
can imagine as when you have to write it and articulate it in your own words, it helps the information get more ingrained in your mind.
Totally. It definitely does. It also then opens new explorations for me because there's typically something that I'll have an aha moment as I'm writing something about a new way to approach it. And so
Mm,
that will also cause some tangents. Those tangents may become another post or they may fit into the arc of the one I'm writing. But I love that journey. I love that journey of discovery. And
yep.
so writing definitely helps me just put it into motion.
Yeah, awesome. I just started using Day One Journal, which is like a
Oh,
soft.
yeah.
I've been loving it.
That's
It's
cool.
so nice. Yeah, and you apparently you can get it printed out too in like nice binding and stuff.
Okay.
So that's gonna be cool. Random, but so is Substack the main form of lead gen then for your company?
I would say the newsletters that I write, I
Got
then post over to LinkedIn. And so
okay.
the newsletters in their capacity are probably one of the main sources of lead gen. I also do like talks, whether it be with the book or just about product in general. So people will learn about me through those ways too.
Mhm.
And yeah, everything I think builds off my product work in some way, shape, or form.
Cool. I have a lot of coaches and consultants that listen to this, and something that we discuss quite often is the idea of building predictability
Yeah.
around lead generation and marketing. I'm
Yeah.
curious your thought process on that. What specific things that you do to build more predictability, or maybe future initiatives that you have planned through that?
Yeah, so I try to write on a regular cadence. I'd love to say it happens all the time. Life happens. But I try to write every 2 weeks, and that's a newsletter. So that's constant content that can be put out. I also try to do smaller posts at least once a week, often twice a week, once about the book, for example, or about, I tend to really like quotes. So you're saying like you journal, I save quotes, and
Mm,
I will build and riff on those quotes.
cool.
And so I try to post about those as well. The other thing that I do is people will reach out and want to connect, and I will accept, but I also put in information about how can I help you? Is there anything from a coaching perspective or product perspective or a combination thereof that I can help you with? And that then also is a source of lead gen, just people reaching out to connect. Have heard of me in some capacity, but instead of just saying yes, accept, and move on, I want to get to know them a little bit better. That really helps too. And then like in any business, I'm in a lot of Slack groups, I'm in a lot of coaching groups. And so leads will come through that way too by just being present and active in those communities.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. What does the sales process look like? So once a lead does come in,
Yeah.
the different steps in the process that they go through for them to become a client.
Yeah. And so in coaching, you'll often hear a phrase of a discovery call.
Yeah,
And that discovery call is an amazing way for the potential client to learn about the coach, but it's equally important for the coach to learn about the client.
of course.
And so I'll do a discovery call first. They're typically like 45, 50 minutes. And then during the discovery call, we'll see how it goes, test things out. And it may lead to another discovery call if we want to explore the waters a bit more, or it may lead to a coaching engagement then and there, or it may be like maybe later, or it's not a fit.
Yeah,
So if it's something that's going to continue, then my approach for coaching is I try to do coaching sessions every other week for 3 months.
got it.
And that's to be able to help the person in the area that they want to develop. And so that consistency, that cadence helps to reinforce what we're coaching through, but also is a time frame where we hope we can see some stretching, some growing, and hopefully start moving towards the goal that they had.
Very
After the
cool.
3 months with a lot of my clients, we just go to a monthly basis and yeah, just keep it in motion to be able to check in and help whenever things arise.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now that you've been doing this for 2 years, I can imagine you've seen a lot of commonalities between
Hmm.
the coaching clients that you have. I'm curious if you've thought about maybe, because I've seen a lot of coaches do this. I've spoken to hundreds. We've worked with thousands at this point.
Yeah.
You've thought about productizing it in a way where it's okay, these are the common things that people get hung up on. Let me
Right.
put together some modules on top of the one-on-one. It's not like it has to be separate. It could be sold separately, but is that something that you've thought about?
Yeah, I started off originally exploring like side projects by doing a Maven course. And so that's actually how I explored or tested the waters a bit. I
Cool.
taught a course on people first leadership and got really great feedback around that. And so that led me more into the writing, that led me more into the coaching. So I actually started in a different path,
Mm,
which led me into what I'm doing. The productizing from there, I think the productize that I'm doing now is more on the writing. So if there's something that I do want people to take away or to just really absorb, I'll put it into a post. And if it's longer, it may be a series of posts. I'll often link off to assets that people can use, but I
yeah.
tend to use my writing as the way to supplement or give people additional information.
Yeah, fair enough. When you think of the next, let's say 12 months and
Okay.
really where you want to take the company,
Yeah.
are there any specific targets that you're aiming towards? Revenue, other milestones? Walk me through your goals.
So in coaching, there's levels of coaching certification that you could receive. And so I'm at a level that's called an ACC. And so you're a credentialed coach. That A is for associate. And I want to get to the next level, which is a professional credentialed coach. And so what I'm doing is building up the hours. You need to have 500 hours to take the test to get to that next level of certification. So
Got
that's what I'm working towards. There's also coursework that you need to take, so you need to have continuing education hours. So I'm also signed up for those and I'm starting to work through those. So a year from now, probably not yet. I hope by the end of 2026, I will have that next level of certification. So cross our fingers and see.
Okay, that's awesome. For the business side, are there any specific targets you're aiming towards there?
I think I'm trying, I know it's hard and I know it's probably sounds weird to people, but I'm trying not to be motivated by money.
Mm,
And money is always a factor and always a consideration, but I find that will cause me to do things that, to be blunt, I may not enjoy as much. And I need money, I think we all do in some capacity, but I want to do things that really energize me because ultimately that leads me to more money in the long run. And so if I can hold out a bit for things that motivate me, then the money will, I hope, will come through. That's my philosophy. So the target that I have every year is I want to earn more than the year before. And so that's the metric I have in my head is I earned X amount last year. I want to earn 10% more next year. I want to earn 10% more the year after that. So that's what I'm aiming towards. There will become a point where I'm probably just happy and I'll stay there. But right now I'm just trying to, yeah, to incrementally grow my
yeah,
business.
there you go. When you think of what would need to be put in place for you to do that, what do you think that would be?
I think for me, it would probably be spending some time with the automation. I do a lot with AI, but I haven't spent that much time or as much time as I'd like with AI agents. And
Mm,
exploring some of the new technologies, seeing how I can do things in a more automated manner. I don't want to lose the personal touch. Human people first is my core competency. And so I don't want to lose that element, but I think there's more happening in the technology space to help with some automation
yeah,
that either could get my message out or help with just some of those, yeah, maybe some of the assets, like you said. So those are some of the things I need to explore.
awesome. What is the best way for people to reach out to you to work with you?
To work with me, find me on LinkedIn. There are three Diana Stepners. I am the product one. And so folks can connect with me there. So just Diana Stepner on LinkedIn. And then I also through my Substack. So Diana Stepner via Substack. And so you'll be able to find my newsletter. And yeah, those are the best ways to reach me.
Awesome. Diana, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Yeah, anytime. So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to reach out to Diana Stepner on LinkedIn. You can also reach her on Substack. I also believe you have a website, dianastepner.com, if I'm not
That is
mistaken.
me. Yep, I have that too.
There you go. That's another way you can reach out to her. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or an agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we went from zero to $30 million in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.